Our guest performer for the evening, George Rabbi. To tell you a little bit about this piece that you just heard, it was written by the famous Henry Purcell, who is a famous English Baroque composer who is well known for writing semi-operas, or what is known today as our modern-day musicals. One of Purcell's semi-operas is the well-known Indian Queen. The Indian Queen was known as one of his shortest semi-operas ever written, which of this trumpet tune was an excerpt of. And it's probably because the night before this semi-opera aired, the actors of the company walked out. There were 16 vocal pieces due to this, and 22 instrumental pieces, which would be the trumpet tune for this semi-opera, and the trumpet tune was one of them. Now, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight for such a great cause. And to speak about this cause that we're doing with the Andrew McDonough Be Positive Foundation, I'd like to invite up Mr. McDonough.
George, thank you very much, and my thanks to the Hammonton Brass and Mr. Rabbi for honoring my son and our foundation this way. It was several months ago that George contacted me, and we were on the phone talking, and for the longest time, I'm going to move away and actually, I won't be able to see you. I think hopefully you'll be able to hear me. I thought I was talking to somebody about my age. We're going on talking about this, and I was just so impressed with everything that he was doing and the group was doing. And he said, you know, I'm in high school. And it just blew me away. And one of the things that's important to us in our foundation, and my wife is right here, is that our foundation is about kids helping kids fight cancer. For those of you who are not familiar with our story, we have two children. Allie was a freshman in college at the University of Delaware, and Andrew was a freshman at Salesianum School in Wilmington, Delaware. A great soccer player, straight-A student, and he played 4 soccer games on Saturday, January 27, 2007. He helped his team, which is a Pennsylvania club team called FC Delco, win the Pennsylvania State Championship. 48 hours later, my son was in cardiac arrest. I was watching him do chest compressions, trying to revive him. We brought him to the hospital, thinking that he had appendicitis. We learned he had leukemia, specifically AML leukemia, and his body went into septic shock. The doctors told us that Andrew was not going to live through the night. This was just unfathomable. A very seemingly healthy 14-year-old boy played 4 soccer games, skied the week before, had 2 workout sessions, Tuesday and Thursday before, and here they're doing chest compressions. They didn't know how tough Andrew was, and he lived 166 more days. During that time, he had nearly 50 operations. He had multiple strokes, hemorrhages, an aneurysm, and many, many other things. At 1:55 p.m. on July 14, 2007, my hero went to heaven at the age of 14 years old. Andrew asked me, out of the blue, 2 weeks before we went into the hospital, what's my blood pressure? And I didn't know because he was always so healthy. His blood type we learned in the hospital was B positive. And thus that became our motto in the hospital. And when Andrew went to heaven, it also became the name of our foundation. And we raised money for pediatric cancer research. And we recently gave away our first research grant of $250,000 to a research facility in the Delaware Valley. And we also help families of critically ill kids from a financial, spiritual standpoint. We have distributed over $85,000 to families in 20 states across the country. And it's through activities like tonight that help support the foundation, but also helps keep me and Allie, our daughter, and Chris going. This is, without question, my worst nightmare. The only thing I ever really wanted to be was a dad. And I have two wonderful children. I say that in the present tense. Unfortunately, I only have the ability to hug one of them. Andrew taught us so much, and I truly believe that Andrew is smiling down on us this evening. He's also probably laughing because he's thinking, Dad, what do you know about music? And I was telling these guys backstage, I was a very accomplished 4th and 5th grade trumpeter until they took the instrument away from me, which tells you how accomplished I was. But it's just amazing. And on behalf of Chris, Allie, and I, we are just humbled by your generosity. It was wonderful to see some Be Positive shirts. If you'd like to learn more about our foundation, I invite you to go to bepositive.org, which is bepositive.org. And I'm just going to end with one thing. It's one of my few musical-related stories. We had about 2,000 people join us for the celebration of Andrew's life on July 21st, 2007. And we ended the memorial service with a pretty non-traditional song. And for those of you that like music and like Broadway shows, it's from a great show called Wicked, and the song is called For Good. And the line that will always stay with me is, I do believe I have been changed for the better, and because I knew you, I have been changed for good. I know my son definitely changed me for the better and has changed me for good. And I appreciate the opportunity to come here and tell you a little bit about Andrew and his foundation. And I hope and pray that by learning a little bit about him, you too will and have been changed for the better and have been changed for good. Thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen. God bless you.
You know, when I had spoken to Mr. McDonough a long time ago, it was so funny that he brought up, I'm speaking to a high school student. I remember talking to him for a while, but the way I found him was through another guest speaker that will be speaking later tonight. He's known around here as at our school, Big Al Zolak. And he helps many kids, he helps every cause. He showed me the site, and I remember looking at this website, and I remember reading this journal. And I remember I was reading it, and I was like, oh, well, there's positive things, but I couldn't go on. And I thought, well, there's so many. I told the quintet, this is around December in 08, and I remember saying to the quintet, look at this story, and they're like, well, what can we do? I said, well, let's take this and let's do a benefit concert. And it's so great to have musicians of this caliber of musicianship here to do something, perform a concert for you guys for such a great cause. But that said, the next piece is from the famous play Ad de Lazar. It's the Rondeau, and it's by Henry Purcell. So in addition to this semi-opera I was talking about, he composed incidental music for 10 plays, and one of the 10 plays was this Ad de Lazar. And I have this little quote here. It says, but it is the rondeau that is ensured enduring fame for an otherwise forgotten play. Its largely neglected music for this movement is taken by Benjamin Britten as the theme on which he based his famous variations on fugue on a theme of Purcell, more popularly known as The Young Person's Guide to Orchestra. After his death, Purcell's Ad de Lazar music, along with